And then I mentioned some what we call enabling projects. That's pretty much what's going on now. What you see going on in the courtyard, we've got a new water main we're connecting. We're starting to dig for the new elevator tower there. As I mentioned a minute ago, human resources. Good part of human resources will be relocated. They will still have their benefits office here. They will still have the Mass Mutual rep will be here. They're going to have touchdown space, some conference space. So when they're needed to be on campus, they'll be able to be. But their main offices will be at 2801 Parkwood. It has its own parking area, so if someone comes to apply for a job or for an interview, it'll be very convenient for them, and everything they need will be there. Right now, the discharge corridor is something we're working on to prepare us for when we close down the main entrance to build that tower out in front and the covered parking area. We're also looking at team member health because the new ED design will infringe upon their current location. The chapel will also be affected by this, again, because of creating the structural support for this new area. It'll need to be relocated as well. And then case management and IS will be expanded into what was the American Cancer Society office up on 3 Jekyll. They departed last December, and case management sort of has offices scattered all over the place, and they indicated a willingness to set up a pod system and be more centrally located, and we're going to attempt to do that as well as provide some additional space for IS, and we already have the plans approved for that to move forward. A lot of the education functions that you currently see in the emergency or in the HR department will now be provided at the CED down on 17, but they still have classroom availability here. So if we need to have classes on site, we'll be able to do that. And then there are a couple other departments that are currently on 4 and 5 St. Simons that in order to make room for these new patient floors, we're going to relocate them as well. So those things will happen now really before we get into the meat of the project. This is our timetable. So, we're right in here. So we're working on those design drawings, construction drawings. We will be starting next month working on a temporary entrance for the emergency care center, the walk-in entrance. We'll show you a drawing of that in a little bit here. We have to move some things out of the way since we're working underfoot. You still have to provide access to these places because we can't afford to close them or move them. So we'll work around them, and we've got a lot of phases involved with that. This shows the surgical tower. Because we're adding that 5th floor, that wasn't in our original certificate of need. So we have a new certificate of need ready to be filed in the next couple of weeks to ask for that additional floor. It doesn't change our bed count as far as what we're licensed for, so we don't anticipate any problem with that. But it makes sense to bid that whole project out at one time. So it'll start in the fall. So we might actually see a groundbreaking type of event there when we actually turn some dirt. Then down here you can see 5 St. Simons, 4 St. Simons. Originally we were going to do those sooner rather than later, but it makes more sense to build the new patient floor first, have that flexibility to use those beds, and then go back in and look at those as well.